Ricky Wysocki falls shorter than that Bitcoin drop, but you know he's still holding. What's up, Disgenerates? I'm Jefferson, half of the disc golf world, here to talk about Ricky on day 22 of Discmisk. Coming down to the end, but if you want even more disc golf content, head over to the Patreon. It's really hard for me to say being second in the world rankings would be anywhere close to disappointing, but unfortunately for Wysocki, the narrative still surrounds his lack of a major victory. He hasn't secured the elusive dub since his 2017 World Championship, which feels strange since I feel like we've seen him at an all-time best, especially this past season. I mean, look at the stats. Maybe not leading anything besides scramble, which I'll argue being the most important statistic, but being in the top 5 this much is clearly a sign that Ricky hasn't shown signs of decline. If anything, we're seeing a new level. Took a second at the first event of 2024. After that, would take a 10th at Waco, followed by his second worst finish of the season. That being a horrible 17th place. I know, guys, most of us didn't know if he'd recover from that. And from that 12th at Jonesboro directly after was enough to keep the haters fueled. Obviously, I'm kidding. When your worst finish all year is 18th, you're doing something right. However, the narrative would start to switch as the season went on and Ricky was still winless. At this point, having 6 podiums, but still not enough to take down a tournament. This is when conversations of 14 years in a row he's won on tour really started. An impressive feat that just recently Paul McBeth would lose. Speaking of another milestone Wysocki reached, was the all-time money earner, over Paul again, adding more and more achievements to the resume. Still waiting for another major though. He would take another runner-up at the Beaver State Fling before securing his first victory at the Preserve. But you can count on that happening just like Swiss cheese mispronouncing Jeff Spring. Didn't take too long before Ricky would get 2 more wins, these in Europe at Krokel and the European Disc Golf Festival. Smashed in between, he had a second at the European Open, because of course he can't win that. That's a major after all. Ricky would have 3 more runner-ups, including at the dgpt championship, which he won the 2 years prior. Some would call it the 5th major, but they would get shit on faster than anyone defending Prodigy's plastic. Wysocki is an example of why majors shouldn't be the be-all factor when arguing how good a career is. Sure, he'll always have the world championships on his resume, but he only has 4 additional major titles. And if we're going to break those down, I might have some words about the Aussie Open that has 8 1,000 rated players in it, but that's not to his fault. I mean, look at the majors breakdown. To me, I look at this and can't help but question if this system is how we should evaluate seasons. Ever want to piss off a grandpa? All you gotta do is say McBeth is better than Climo. Now, this might be controversial to say, but the career gap between Climo and Wysocki isn't as far off as it seems. But I wouldn't dare say that in public. Who am I kidding? That's exactly what I would do. All I'm saying is, why should those events be weighted so much higher than National Tour, Elite Series, and other top tier events played by the best players in the world? Especially when we're talking about the evolution of professional disc golfers being at an all-time high. But I digress. I'm going to throw this breakdown of Elite Series and majors between McBeth and Wysocki on the screen now. I don't even know the point I'm trying to make here. Besides, maybe we should address how majors hold too much weight to them. Before you hate on me, that's something Ricky's advocated for too, so I'll throw him under the bus. And well, no shit, he definitely should. I literally just showed you exactly why he would argue for that. It always felt arbitrary to me throwing an M on an event and all of a sudden we care more. At least Worlds has an extra round. I know the players will tell you the vibes are different, but from the fan perspective, is it? Like, do you feel any more excited for Champions Cup? Maybe I'm wrong, but there isn't even a rhyme or reason for them. I thought it was supposed to be the Wooded Major, but now we're playing in Stockton. I don't know, just feels weird to me that only 5 events really matter. Then why the hell do we have events for 8 months? Oh, that's right, to set up the championship. But you know what us disc golf fans are going to collectively decide? That event doesn't even count for anything. Why? Ricky fought all year to earn his advantage, played on a course that is in the same conversation as Northwood Black. But again, we're not allowed to use that to argue. Gotcha. I hate to say it, but Ricky Wysocki might be the best runner-up disc golf has ever seen. Spent so long in McBeth's shadow, and with the new guard stepping up, can't seem to get out of it. Although, he is putting up the best fight on a weekly basis for the old guys. That doesn't feel right to say, but he takes care of Fern, so essentially, he's a dad. What separates Ricky from the rest was his focus on practice round videos that were able to show off a side of his personality not typically shown. Not only that, but provided a deeper perspective of the sport that for some reason doesn't get broadcasted. Gotta love Ricky for his ability to speak his mind, although we should get more of it. Just wish it would come pre-chopped up. We heard him speak on burst season, pdga rules, and frankly, what won't he give his opinion on? Gotta respect it. I hope the videos keep going for next year and we get more Wysocki content. It's what will continue to push his relevancy. But for the time being, I think he'll still be fighting for wins. Drop in the comments how you think Ricky will do next season. Will it finally be the year he gets that major, or will he fall short yet again? I have high hopes just as long as nothing drastic happens. Like, I don't know, switching his main putter, but that would just be crazy talk, right?